Welcome to Kensington Senior Living, a family of independent living, assisted living, and memory care communities founded in 2010 by a close knit of lifelong senior living professionals. Every day, our team members proudly carry forward our promise to love and care for your family as we do our own. From our heart to yours, we invite you to join the Kensington family. Kensington has 8 unique communities, 5 located in Virginia, Maryland, and New York, and 3 sister communities located in California. Kensington is truly privileged to support care partners and professionals from coast to coast. We focus on relationship-based care, care built on the foundation of our promise to love and care for your family as we do our own. It is programs such as the one you are attending now that are so important for us, supporting a caregiving journey to hear from expert professionals on keeping us current with the latest advances in care, management, and treatment of conditions that affect seniors and their families. I was first introduced to Kensington over 10 years ago, as my father was a resident for over 7 years. In those 7 years, I would visit my father frequently, and my mother dined with him daily. And the food and the cuisine and the team just continued to impress me. And my father was so happy with the food, as well as my mother and myself. We dined together at Kensington many days of the week. Everyone that registered for today's event will receive a copy of the webinar to share with friends and family. Please also know how to utilize the Q&A function to submit questions. We will hear from Val and Morissa about the cuisine offered to residents and families at Kensington. We believe in the importance of adhering to the 7 pillars of brain health and longevity. One of those is nutrition and the importance of the mind diet. Please join me in welcoming Val. Val, can you join me? There she
Hello.
is.
Hey, Susan,
Val.
how are you?
Good. And I
Um,
have to tell the audience every time I see Val at various communities, it seems like you run around all 8 communities, but every time I see her and she sees me walk in, she goes into the kitchen and makes me the most delicious avocado toast that she knows is my favorite. So every time I go into a community and I see Val, I'm like, oh, Val's here. And so I'm super excited to be here today with you, Val. Share with us a few words about yourself.
well, good afternoon and evening to everyone. I'm Valerie Miles. I'm the support culinary specialist for Kensington Senior Living. I joined them in 2017, not having any experience in senior living, but had been in the hospitality industry for over 30 years. So coming on board with them was a life-changing experience. I wanted a purpose, and the purpose ultimately, almost 10 years later, has been exactly what Susan said, to love and care for your loved ones as if they were our own loved ones. So, right now, I'm out and about in all 8 communities. Um, Looking at menus and menu development and trying to incorporate the mind diet into each community as an offering to our residents who are suffering with some brain change, and then being able to as well provide any of the extra needs that they may have from a dietary and nutritional standpoint.
And I have witnessed Val in the different communities. And not only do you do the menu and speak with the chefs and the kitchen support staff, but you also get to know the residents in the different communities. And there is 8 communities. I will never forget Val came up to my mother when I was there. And by the way, my father wanted a Cobb salad every day with grilled chicken. And Tony, the chef at Redwood City, made my father a Cobb salad for lunch every day with grilled chicken. And he liked Roquefort, not blue cheese. So he always had Roquefort. And Val came up, and my mother loved her tuna melt. And Val came up and said, Jan, would you like your tuna melt today with your Arnold Palmer? I'll never forget that. I was so impressed that you not only took the time to know the residents, but you also took the time to know the families as well. So thank
Yes,
you.
you're
Well,
welcome.
I have a couple questions for you, please.
Okay.
What are some of the most impactful dietary habits people can adopt to support long-term brain health and reduce the risk of cognitive decline?
Okay. So we can start with just some basic things, making good choices. And those choices can be a variety of things from fruits and vegetables to having fresh fish, nuts. You cook with olive oil instead of butter. You want to stay away from highly processed foods, obviously, and then staying hydrated. So, if you have, dark berries, blueberries, raspberries, or just strawberries, you're incorporating a cup or so of those into your diet every day. You're having leaner meats, grilling, not frying or baking them. That will always start to help you with reducing the long-term impacts of processed foods.
And this has been proven, by the way. I want everyone on this webinar to look up the US Pointer Study. The US Pointer Study was a study that the Alzheimer's Association did for, I think it was 3 years, it might have been 4 years, so you'll have to look it up. But it's the first time that science has linked lifestyle to positive change for your brain. So, what Val is talking about is nutrition has been proven from a scientific approach to link better cognition to what you eat.
Yes.
And some of the fruits and the vegetables and the nuts and everything Val just mentioned are all on the Mind Diet. And everyone who registered today will receive a copy of this, but you will also receive in your follow-up email a copy of the Mind Diet and a copy of, I'll even put a copy of the US Pointer Study and also the 7 Pillars of Brain Health. So thank you, Val.
Okay.
That's so impressive because I'll just share with the audience, you go to a restaurant, they're not going to say what Val just said,
Well,
right?
you
It's true.
know,
And then here's another question. How does the food we eat influence cognitive function, memory, and overall brain health as we age?
well, as we age, the brain is gonna, you need to supply the nutrients, to continue to have your brain be optimally working. So, in order to do that, you want the fatty acids, you want the antioxidants, you want the omega-3s. So, as you're aging, you want to have more of those things and less of, I'm going to say the bad stuff. What you put in your body is just as important, or what I really mean to say is you put good things in your body, your brain is going to work better. If you put bad things in your body, your brain will not work as well. So, as I already mentioned, stay away from the processed foods, eat more leafy green vegetables, eat more fresh, not frozen items, and then smaller portions can also help as well. You want to eat till you're full, but you don't want to eat until you can't get up from the table.
And we
So
just had a question come in. Is fresh garlic good for the brain?
I would say yes, fresh garlic is good for the brain. I'm in a kitchen right now in Maryland, and we have several of the cooks who are eating garlic raw every day. They just say it makes them feel better, so from a digestive standpoint as well. So if you have a clean gut, you process things easier as well. Yep. So I
And
would
Val
say
is
garlic
right,
is
by the
good.
way. You are correct that they really believe now that brain health starts in your gut. And I think fresh garlic is great, but eating fresh cloves, my brother used to do that. It's not so good for the breath.
No, it is not, you know.
Um, and here's another question. Many people understand that eating healthy is important, but changing eating habits may be difficult. So, in other words, you're used to your Big Mac fries and Big Coke, so changing could be hard. How can food service and dining teams create menus that are both enjoyable and aligned with the Mind diet?
Well, I think you start with the basics, which is to people still eat with sensory. They see it, it looks good, it tastes good. You want to make sure that the presentation on the plate is, something that the resident recognizes or the guest, but that it's also flavorful. It's full of fresh herbs and ingredients. It's equally important, not only about the nutrition, but socially. As people get older, you want them to continue to have meals with other people, that they become stimulated through conversation. And then as well, we try to work with individual as residents move in, we have onboarding meetings. We find out their likes, their dislikes, and then we try to incorporate meals around them. Um, if we have a motto of if it's in the building and it may not be on the menu, we'll be more than willing to make it for you. So I think that's what separates us as well from the competitors, that it's not, even though we have a menu for the day, we can adjust that menu restaurant style for a resident if he or she decides today they don't want what's on the menu. Hey, can I have a piece of salmon with, fresh herbs and olive oil? Salmon's in house every day. We would be more than happy to provide that for them.
And I do have to share with the audience that that was something that so impressed both my mother and father when we were looking for senior living. And that was every day. I mean, Kensington has a menu that the residents are given, a beautiful menu that has specials, that has certain foods that are right with the Mind diet. They have a choice of what they want to get for breakfast. They have a choice of what they want to get for lunch and dinner, but there's always choices too and specials. I'm just so impressed with that. So, anyone that is looking or is in the market for senior living, whatever you do, if you do anything, have a meal with them. That will tell you so much about that community. And let's go ahead and invite Morissa to join us, Val, and please stay with me. Don't go
Okay.
anywhere.
Hello.
There she is. There she is. Hey, Morissa, share with the audience a few words about yourself and who you are, please.
Sure. So I am a graduate of Johnson and Wales University with a culinary degree. I've worked in fine dining, hotel, catering, a little bit of everything, and I started my career in senior living 20 years ago, and I've been with KSL for the last 12 years. So I'm just very fortunate to be here. It's a beautiful community across the region, but I'm very blessed to be here.
And share with the audience where you are, because Val travels
Oh
around.
yes,
I
Val
assume
travels
you're
around.
pretty
Yes, so
stable.
yes, we are at well, I am in Maryland at Kensington Park.
Fantastic, fantastic. And actually, before we get to some more questions for you guys, a question came in for you, Marissa. What is a substitute for red wine in recipes? I'm allergic.
So, red wine or white wine is not essential. Obviously it helps with a lot of flavor profiles, but I would say any kind of vinegar would be a great substitute, and you just want to cook it down to get rid of that vinegar taste, but like when you're cooking, you want to have some acid, you want to have a lot of different flavors going on. It helps balance things. So bringing a vinegar in, whether it's red wine, white wine, or apple cider vinegar is great. great to use, but you just want to have that balance of acidity. You can also use lemon juice or lime juice, just something that adds acid. So any of that would be comparable.
Very impressive. And then I'm going to ask this question to both of you, but I'll start with you first, Morissa. Describe your style of cooking.
So I would say definitely seasonal, simple ingredients, but with big flavors. I use a lot of fresh herbs and quality proteins, whether that's, meat or tofu or whatever that is to you. But I'm all about flavor profile, and I think keeping it very organic with the fresh herbs, it just adds so much balance. And if you know what you're doing, you can add pretty much any herb to any meal, and it's just going to add an extra wow factor. So I'm really big on fresh herbs.
And what about
And I
you,
think,
Val? What's your magic?
well, growing up in the mid-Atlantic, we grew up with a lot of fresh seafood. So I think for me, I love to make fresh fish. My specialty is a Maryland crab cake. We've had it on the menu in a couple of different places. But as Marissa said, you simplify it. You want fresh produce, you want fresh herbs, you want the acidity of acids and those ingredients. But you don't want, for me, I'm not a big potato rice person. I will have a plate of four kinds of fresh vegetables sauteed in some olive oil and, of course, garlic. Okay. And then, a nice piece of lean protein or seafood. So, but I didn't always eat that way. But now you're learning more about what's really healthy for you to eat and what's not. So I think as I'm getting older, I'm learning less starches, less bread, is better for me later in life. So, but and then a nice glass of wine on the side is always an added. So yeah, but
Great
just simple.
accompaniment.
Yes.
And so my daughter, I'm gonna helping with a baby shower for her. Do you guys do private catering? I'm just kidding. But I'm very intrigued. What I love about everything is how you really plan a menu with flavor. I mean, sometimes when people see the Mind Diet, they're afraid to add all the flavor. And so the herbs and the spices and all that stuff is all good for you. So I'll just share that. And we had another question come in. I'll let either one of you grab this. Is sauteing frying or deep fat frying? So is sauteing, you're talking about sauteing, is that frying or is that in a deep fat fryer?
Marissa, you got
No.
it?
Yeah.
Sauteing is
Yeah.
just
Well, so
sauteing,
sauteing
correct?
is
Go ahead,
is neither,
Marissa.
it's not deep frying and it's not
Yeah.
frying because you can pan fry with like a quarter of an inch of oil or deep fry where it's submerged. But no,
Okay.
sauteing is the healthiest way, and whether you're using olive oil, avocado oil, whatever you're using, and it's just to get a nice
Seal it.
color on whatever you're searing, cooking, or if you're sauteing, fresh spinach, whatever it is. But it's not this. Was the question, was it the same? It's not the
You
same.
just
It's
answered the
healthier to
question. No,
saute, little bit of
you,
oil.
yeah,
Yeah.
versus
Or some
submerged.
pan spray, like you said, like
Yeah.
avocado oil, walnut oil, um, the olive oil spray, or fresh, or extra virgin olive oil. But the least amount of oil is possible. But if you're gonna use oil, you want to use the healthy side of the oil.
Good, good. And then one more question, and then we're going to show a video. But I'll start with Val. What is the largest number of people that you have prepared or managed food for? So I don't know if your answer is going to be September last year when you and I were in Bethesda, and I don't even know how many people, but Val, how many, like when Kensington says we're going to do this event and we're going to roll it from lunch to dinner, how many people were you responsible for preparing meals for? that day
So
or when?
I think the Bethesda opening, when we had two back-to-back events in the same day, both of them required all of our local chefs to assist us with that. So I think overall that day we had close to what, 250 people, Marissa, close to 300. And the night event, was supposed to end, fairly early, and the party continued on way past the time. But I mean, that just spoke to the fact that people were very comfortable. The food was exceptional. We had stations set up for, each chef decided they would host something that they're good at or that they're passionate about. So I think so far it's been about 250 people, but I know my experience here at Kensington Park, this is our largest community, three separate buildings. So we host events all the time where there are several hundred people attending at one time, and then we're still taking care of our residents and not wanting the extra activities to impact, their lifestyle here as well.
Okay, well, stay with me, and I'm going to have our buddy Janelle on the back end. Please show the video, but don't go anywhere. There we go.
Hi, my name is Morissa Harris. I am the executive chef at Kensington Park Senior Living, and today I'm going to be making for you a lemongrass shrimp rice noodle salad. Okay, so I have a pan heating up, and I'm just adding some oil. And to this, I have some fresh lemongrass, some shallot, and then we'll be adding some fresh garlic. And I already smell it. The aroma is amazing, and as it cooks, it's going to be even more. But lemongrass is great for the digestive system. I also have ginger in there, which is great for the digestive system as well. Garlic, I'm going to wait towards the end so we don't burn it, but this is just going to get nice and flavorful. When you think of the Mind Diet, you just think of, things that are going to be very healthy for you: nuts, fish, fresh leafy greens. So we're using a little bit of all of that. We do have shrimp today for our seafood. We have some leafy greens, some fresh herbs, and we have some peanuts that we're going to add to top it off for some crunch. But this is starting to cook already. Again, it's amazing. I love ginger. I love lemongrass. And to this, we are going to add a little bit of fresh garlic. And the shrimp, I have tails off. You can have tails on. Some people prefer not to mess with it, but either one. But I'm going to add the shrimp to this as well. And this is such an easy dish. I would say it's Asian, like a Thai type, resembles like a pad Thai, but it's a cold noodle, rice noodle dish. So, and I'm just kind of adding a little bit of my own flavors, but flavors from a Mind Diet book that I found that is kind of a go-to on just healthy living. And it's just a very simple dish, but very flavorful at the same time. So I have some fresh basil, some fresh mint, and I have some fresh cilantro. Fresh herbs are incredible to use in any dish, but something like this is like I said, it's very simple, but it's gonna bring out these robust flavors and really add to it. I'm just gonna give it a rough chop. I also have some lettuce in here just for some rubbage, but I'm gonna make it very rough. It'll blend very well with the noodles. To this as well, we're gonna do some carrot ribbons just to add some crunch to the noodles. Again, they're rice noodles. You can use whatever noodle you prefer. You could do all carrots if you wanted to, or other vegetables. But again, the ribbon just gives it a nice texture. So I already prepared some rice noodles. So you're just gonna cook it just like regular pasta. You don't want it too al dente because the rice noodles tend to have a little crunch. So you do want to cook them but obviously not too much. And then to this, you're going to add your ribbons, your fresh herbs. I have the cooked shrimp with the lemongrass, the ginger, the garlic. Smells so good. I have a little bit more carrots I'm going to add in here. And then I have some chili paste that I put together with some rice vinegar and some lime juice. Again, it's very simple. I'm just going to add this liquid. Like I said, I made the rice noodles ahead of time to get them cold. The shrimp, I did cook for you, so you can either, serve that warm, hot, or you can make it cold as well, so your whole dish is cold. But it's so nice for the summer. It's very healthy, just very fresh, especially with the herbs. So again, I'm going to top it with some peanuts. You can choose to use peanuts. You can choose not to use peanuts, but I like the little crunch that it adds to it. And then just when plating a recipe, I just like to add some height. It adds just a nice, beautiful concept to the dish. Maybe top it with, your protein. And then the color of the carrots and the fresh herbs adds such a great color. And I have some chopped peanuts to add. Add as much as you want, as little as you want. And that's it. Very simple. Enjoy.
You've got to be kidding me. I wish that this was not virtual and we were in person. I literally that, first of all, that is all in the Mind Diet audience. I mean, that is all really healthy and good for you. And you made it look so simple. I know it's not as simple as you made it look, but the flavors in that, and an audience member just said from Phyllis, where can she get lemongrass?
So
Usually
any
at an
Asian
Asian market.
market, yeah, any Asian market is going to have lemongrass, and that's exactly where I went. Typically, at your local grocery store probably will not have lemongrass, but any Asian market will.
I can't wait to make that. And to the audience, we will include that recipe, obviously, so you can all try it and then you can let us know, or you can ask us questions about it. But that looks amazing. And then another question from Maureen came in, who clearly has been to a Kensington. She said, the soups are delicious. Do you make those fresh?
Yes, yes. So I guess it's nice to say we are at least in Maryland, we're known for our soups, and the staff do such a great job. But yes, consistently across the board, the residents, the families constantly let us know how much they enjoy them. And yes, we make all of our soups from scratch.
What's your favorite soup, Val?
Summer, I like a nice uh, vegetable based, fresh vegetables, but with some tomato, but all garden fresh vegetables in that is probably my favorite for the summer. But winter is always tomato basil. It's just with it's just simple, and
Tomato
it
basil
takes you
with a grilled
back.
cheese.
Well, I wanted to stay away from the grilled cheese, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
know, but
Okay.
that that is my favorite. What's your favorite soup, Marissa?
Well, I'm a soup girl, so I love all soups. But I mean, I do for summer I do like a nice gazpacho, and whether it's more tomato or fruit, I love it. For the winter, I don't know. I probably it's not very mind diety, but I like a good cream soup, whether it's cream of broccoli or potato. But I also love a good tomato soup. But I love all soups, so.
And for the audience, for people that don't know us that well or don't know us that well yet, I will share with you that when you dine at Kensington, a server comes over and is you are always offered soup as your first course.
Yes.
Yes.
Super impressed with that. Super impressed with that. Tell me, and either of you can start first. Residents from different countries or someone that really likes a certain type of food. Morissa and I were talking before audience, before we went live on one of her examples. Will you share that with us?
Sure. So, we have residents from many different backgrounds, different cultures, and, if it's important to them, it's important to us. So we want to make sure that our menu is varied and, we have a little bit of everything. It's, obviously not everyone is going to enjoy cuisines from across the world, but we do try to make sure that we have a little bit of everything. Um, we had a resident living in memory care who I believe this was a while back, but I believe she was of Indian descent, and she, for probably 30 years, had a very special chai tea in the afternoon as part of her daily ritual. And when she moved in, the family made that a very big thing that we continued for her, and we did it every single day. And even her living with dementia, it definitely you could feel it, you can see it. It brought her to a place of just pure happiness when she received that. And it warmed our hearts every day to see that. So if we could do that for her, or, there's many other stories I could tell you that we do for our residents, but there's really nothing we won't do. So it was special.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Val, what if someone is experiencing swallowing challenges or issues? How do you adapt for that?
So in our communities, we're going to have our nursing team, and if, a server or a care partner notices that a resident is having difficulty chewing or swallowing, they're going to notify the nursing team, and the nursing team will then do an assessment. And if their diet requires that it becomes modified, we're able to do that in-house with the same items that we are delivering that day on a menu. So if we're having, chicken parmesan or a roasted piece of chicken, but we have a resident who now is having difficulty, we will modify that down into small enough pieces that he or she is able to still enjoy chicken, that looks like chicken, tastes like chicken. We make all kinds of adjustments every day for the residents. We're here for them. We're here for their needs. Nutrition is still so important to our seniors, that we don't want anybody not to still continue to enjoy food, because that's one of the few things that they still in their own way can control. We want them to have those flavors, even if it is something as simple as grilled cheese and tomato soup. Might not be on the menu that day, but we might have a resident who, is asking, can I get tomato soup? We're gonna do our best that day to provide him or her with, the things that they're asking for. This is their home. So if they were still able to be at home, they someone would be able to make them tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. And so that just happens to be us now. So because they are our family.
That makes me literally tear up. So on a really fun note, Val, what's your favorite desserts? Or
I'm
what are the
all,
residents' favorite desserts? Or what are
oh,
yours? Either
resident, because
one.
I'm like, for me, it's apple pie. I keep it simple. But you know, I think the residents like things that bring back memories. So I even know my mother's favorite ice cream was butter pecan, and she wanted Breyers. She didn't want any other flavor but Breyers.
Good plug.
So yeah, so I mean, I think they like all desserts. Some of them probably have too many desserts, but overall, I think most of them still enjoy like cheesecake. They enjoy the ice cream, cobblers. So, but we try to get them to eat. If they're going to have dessert, we want them to have it in moderation and in small portions. But I think overall, we offer anywhere from, depending on communities, 8 to 12 different options for ice cream, some of them being lactose free, sorbets, gelatos. So, I mean, we have lots of options for desserts.
Yep. You have sprinkles. That's kind of my favorite thing. Sprinkles on ice. Yeah, you do. Good. And Marissa, what's your favorite dessert and what's your favorite dessert for residents?
So I think the residents, like Val said, I mean, ice cream is a big hit, but I think especially now in the summer, the anything with fruit, fresh fruit. I mean, fresh fruit we have every single day. But whether it's cobblers, crisps, peaches, anything with peaches, um, fresh berries. Tonight we have a fresh berry tart. They love, us to utilize the seasonal ingredients that are available right now. So, and they're at their peak. So we use a lot of fresh fruits in our desserts now. Um, and then me, I would say, I mean, I like a good creme brulee
Oh, mm.
for me.
Yeah, I made, and it took, I could never be a chef because I made a chocolate creme brulee and I think it took me 6 hours. Something was not right. But when it was done, and I even got that little torch thing, when
Yeah.
it was done, oh my gosh, it was just incredible, incredible. And before we leave, I first of all have to thank you too, and I have to thank the audience, and I really have to thank Kensington. I mean, I witnessed it for over 7.5 years and got to know Val, and I haven't met, oh, I did meet Morissa when I was back in Bethesda, but you guys do such an incredible job. And I invite everyone on this webinar today to stop by Kensington for a meal. But I also encourage you to go by Kensington at 4 o'clock. Every day, every community does a happy hour. And Val and Morissa not only make 3 meals a day with snacks and everything like that, but they also do a happy hour every day at 4 o'clock with live music. Not that you're playing instruments, but you make these incredible mocktails and all these hors d'oeuvres. And it's such a great gathering time for the residents, the community, and the families. And by the way, team members are up dancing. It's for everybody. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Morissa. And on the East Coast, both of you are, good evening, but on the West Coast, good afternoon. And I hope you guys all enjoy that lemongrass shrimp. Looks amazing. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.